I have to honestly say I'm a little nervous. I don't know how to prepare for it, but I do know that there's some materials there for me to go look at, and I haven't done that yet. So hopefully that nervousness will diminish.
I hope so too. Were you anxious going into it, or were you just taking it in stride?
I wasn't anxious going into it, partly because I'd done an online exam a few years prior to that. So, I mean, I'm 35 years out of school, but I'd had the experience of an online exam, so I knew what it was about. No, I think I was quite calm about the whole thing. I wasn't too worried. The preparation was fine. I looked at a few things that were rusty, and that was good. I talked to people afterwards, and everybody of my peer group that I spoke to just said it wasn't so bad. It was not a big deal. So, and that's the message I'm giving to people as they prepare, is that's the word that I've heard is it's not a barrier.
I found it to be a reasonable exam. I think what it tested was my ability to think through a scenario rather than my ability to recall facts.
Good, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, so I think that in retrospect, my level of anxiety approaching the exam was unnecessary because it was really just it was really just looking at my ability to reason through a clinical scenario rather than to test my specific knowledge in musculoskeletal therapy.
Okay.
I didn't love it. It was a bit of a challenging process. I didn't really prepare for it from a bit of an arrogant standpoint. I thought, you know what? I've been practicing and teaching for 20 plus years. If I can't pass it, then I'm in trouble and the test is crap. How's that for arrogant?
No, I don't know that it is arrogant, because what I say to people is that it's clinical reasoning. You shouldn't have to do a whack of preparation.
I thought it was relevant to practice. I thought that there was the questions were fair. They weren't necessarily easy, but I wouldn't call them overly challenging. I thought they were fair and reasonable. I thought the exam format was quite applicable to clinical practice. And speaking as a person who is in an administrative or leadership role, I thought the questions were reasonable. Now, I did do, I think, sufficient preparation for the exam, but I think, I didn't study for tens of hours. I certainly looked over jurisprudence information and some clinical information, but I thought it was an excellent refresher, and for me, it was a good experience.
It's interesting because, there's a lot of different ways that physios can present competence, and it depends on their very specific area of practice, because it can change over the years, or some people just really focus in on a sport medicine population, and that's their practice on the day-to-day, and maybe has been for the past 10 years. Yep. So it is nice to be able to go back and review all of the other populations that you may not see every day, and some of the populations in the hospital that you may see acutely that we're not, I'm in sport medicine, so we're not seeing them on the day-to-day, so it is a nice opportunity to refresh.